Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've bellied up to the bar here today. It is, God, I don't even remember. The 13th, I should know this. It's the 13th of November. For those of you that are expecting to see me on Twitch, I don't know why Twitch is having a glitch. I don't know why it's doing that. So we'll try to see if we can get that one figured out, what's going on here with our StreamYard and Twitch. But that doesn't matter to us, and because we have much more important things. I could have probably asked our guest if she knew that Twitch wasn't working, because she could have intuitively told me, Sean, your Twitch isn't going to work. I figured she could have done the entire show for me without. And if you don't know who our guest is tonight, you have never watched a single form of paranormal TV in the last, I don't know, like, she'll have to tell me, like, I far back as I know, she's been on all the shows. At least she's got 20 books out there. She's been on a bunch of different shows. So and I'm assuming she's back at her house in Cali, because it reminds me of the background. It's been a lot of years since we've had Miss Patti on here, but joining us all the way in Khalifa, it is Miss Patti. You like that? I did the whole Spanish version of it.
Yes,
Miss Patti
yes.
Negri.
Thank you so much, Sean, for having me on. Yes, I'm sitting here in my little house in Hollywood, under the sign, under the H, right in the hills. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I knew you were out there. I couldn't remember exactly where you were in Cali. I knew it was the southern end of California. So Patty's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about, because she's the one that makes things go bump in the night, get scared. So because she knows all their secrets. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about her new book, DollCraft, about haunted dolls, which I find absolutely fascinating. And we're definitely going to be talking about some Paraflix and Magic U and all these different items. But before we get too far into all those things, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors and things we got going on. As always, the big board over my right shoulder for Sticker and a Cause. Maybe you've got something going on. You've got a book. You've got a podcast. You've got your own TV network, whatever it happens to be. You can reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, X, you name it. Any one of those locations, you can reach out to us. Our our website is theabovethebarpodcast.com. Our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you got going on. Send me the sticker. I'll read about you live here on the air so everybody gets to know what you got going on. We also got to talk about our sponsors, the people who pay the bills around here. And that's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Clifton Park, Del Mar, New York. North America's largest custom window treatment company. They're doing everything from blinds, shades, shutters, drapery, tint, even things to keep the things that go bump in the night out. Here's a question before I get too far, Patty. If I poured salt inside of a honeycomb shake, it has the little honeycomb shapes in it, would a witch, because I know, or a spirit that, what is it? The old saying that witches had to count the grains of salt before they could cross. Would she still have to count those grains if they were inside of a honeycomb shade?
No.
Interesting. I have to keep that in mind. So don't out of your honeycomb shade, folks. It will not keep.
Which one's in the witch kitchen, with or without?
Yeah. See, that's not going to work.
Maybe you want the witch in. Witches are good, I'm a good witch.
It depends. It depends on which one you're dealing with. Which witch is which. We got to figure out which one is one. So all these different things, but they carry all these different lines, drapery, you name it. They've got it all for you. Reach out to your local Budget Blinds. And again, if you're here in the capital region of New York, Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Del Mar, all the different locations, and you tell them you're there to belly up to the bar, they're going to give you an additional 5% off of your order. And this month, their sale is what they're calling triple 50. That's 50% off of one shade, 50% off of installation, and 50% off of shipping. So make sure you give them a call. Get your window treatments taken care of. All right, Miss Patti, it's all done. All the bills are paid. It's time for you and I to have a glorious conversation. So how is it snowing in Southern California yet?
No, it doesn't snow in Southern California, but
Thought
we're
it-
expecting rain. We are expecting rain, which is needed and rare.
I thought the song was "It Never Rains in Southern California."
It never rains in Southern California. That's why we're in a terrible drought right now.
Not
We need
good.
to write a new song, "Bring the Rain" in Southern California, but I think we are gonna get some as I'm taking off from Minnesota. So
Oh, what's going on in Minnesota?
I'm going to be doing a mediumship gallery this weekend in Brainerd, Minnesota. I have no idea where that is.
Okay, so now you already got me curious. See, I told Patty and I were talking about this. We're gonna go off the rails right away. What is a medium? Say it again. Mediumship.
Gallery. Okay, to me, okay, mediumship, I talk to dead people. To me,
Okay.
the gallery, to me, doing a gallery is me standing maybe on a stage, but in front of people, and then people facing me like it's say it like it's in a theater or like Long
Okay.
Island Medium or John Edwards or those kind of people. I lift the veil and I call in the dead, and it's me and they're facing me. I lift the veil a certain way. And I could have that from 3 people to I've done a 1,200 seat theater. For me
Wow.
to call it a seance, that's a lot of dead people. I don't count the
It
living
is.
people, I count the a lot of spirits here. But for me to call it a seance, where how I lift the veil, one of the things I'm known for as well, is we're in a circle and it's energetically different. The outcome is going to be you're going to get to talk to dead grandma. You're going to get to talk to the kid who died in school. You're going to get to, get the iPhone code if you don't have it, whatever that is. Because I've literally a spirit. It was sad and so sweet. This young guy had passed away. And his wife sat there with the iPhone and didn't have the code. And
Okay.
hundreds and thousands of pictures. The spirit gave me the code, so she got the photos out.
So that's
But
an interesting one.
in
So
we're all on the same level. I'm not up to them. In the energetic difference, complete energetic difference. What you guys get is similar, the same, but how I do it is different.
so that brings up like we're gonna go right into this. So let's start with like the Long Island medium and John Edwards, who I mean, God, I think he was bigger than she was. She was pretty big here for a while. But how do the folks like that in that world when you're talking about this? I mean, it's a world that we've all heard the stories of charlatans and people that were. How do you start to differentiate between what is legitimately going on and what is nothing more than somebody playing the cards just right?
I think that people need to trust their gut and their intuition because there really is. I mean, professional magicians, not like my kind of magic, but the rabbit
Right.
out of the hat and card trick magicians, they have a thing called mentalism where
Yeah.
they admittedly are fake. They do not connect to gods or spirits or energies. They just know how to read people somehow and they have tricks. They pride themselves in it being illusion. And I love them, but because they're not trying to be real. It's the ones who are pretending they are real and saying they're really talking to your grandma. It's a whole different thing than what the other guys do. That's just dangerous and it's not fair. I wouldn't even know how to fake it. I'm not that good of an actor. I don't have any kind of a memory to say, okay, the person in the third row's grandma's name so and so, and I, I don't earpiece in my head. I
I
wouldn't know.
mean, it's very interesting to me because, like, it's funny you say that the guy who's the real famous mentalist that's been around lately, he was just, was it 60 Minutes or something like that? He was on talking with a NFL team, and he did all of his mentalist kind of things. He was like, things that you're like, no way. But again, he's picking up on personal cues from people, and it's absolutely just the wildest thing to me, the way they pick up on these cues from people. So, and you've already got somebody popping on here. Melissa says, "Hello, have you got a message from me? I think it's supposed to be my friend Travis, who passed away suddenly on July 19th this year. Please, hands from Melissa in New Zealand." That seems very like Hey, Melissa, I mean, if Patty's got some, that'd be pretty amazing, but that seems very specific.
Well, I'm always specific. And I ask people, and I would, whether again, if it's a seance circle, and I do a seance from 3 to, I've done maybe 67. Sorry, my lights are falling down. That's why I'm getting a little weird right here. Wait, okay, it's better. Okay, my lights are falling down. Ghost down.
Listen, that's what happens to all my shows. I'm waiting at any moment here for my entire equipment to shut down because that's what happens every time.
All the time. Everything I have is haunted. My girls behind me. I ask the spirits, tell me something that it's like that only grandma only wore purple socks, or who's got the 3-legged German Shepherd with the green collar, who's got that's what they want. So we could tag into Travis. Okay, Melissa, again, this is not going to be a real deep going in thing, but the thing that I'm getting is lower belly, something, I don't know if it was an illness or an accident or something that hit the lower part of my torso is what's killing me right now. So I don't know if that had to do with how he passed. But he is traveling right now. He is good. He is literally on the road. I'm picturing a road with like white line down the middle. He is fine. Almost always dead people are fine. I mean, literally, we read those books, like all the people who died, but then, the universe or God made them come back. Most of them don't want to come back. They like it over there. But Travis is fine, and he's on the road and he's traveling.
It's funny you say the thing about they don't want to come back. Let's see. Melissa said, we finally got to meet face to face on the 18th of July. Hours he was dead, car accident.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was something but it's funny you mentioned they don't want to come back. A book I recently was listening to, because I spent a lot of time on the road. Woman was a neurosurgeon who literally, she was like, I was dead for like well over 30 minutes.
Wow.
And they brought me back, and she talked about how it's almost a depressing feeling to be brought back because you've seen what's there and you've experienced what's there. She talks about sitting with Jesus and having those conversations, and she's like, this is horrible. Like, it took me a while to get back, to who I was or where I am. And look, folks, if you have questions for Patti, you want to know what's going on, even if it's not on here, you can always check pattinegri.com. You can check her. We'll get into this here in a minute. Paraflix, PARAFLIXX.com. And Magic U, M-I, reading thing gets you every time. Magic with a KU.org at the end of it. So if you got questions for Patti, things you're interested in, please drop us a line here. And you've been on a lot of, like, let's be real, you've been on contributed over 20 books, seances on radio, film, TV, and Meghan Trainor, really. I'm more interested in meeting her husband. You know that, though.
I was doing her radio. I live in Hollywood. My clients are celebrities. Most of them I can't talk about, because in this town you have a thing called an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. I can't tell you the people sitting next to their Oscar, they're next to their Oscar, but some I can. Meghan is a doll. I'm doing her radio show. She's a friend. She wanted to see ghosts, so we took her up to Northern California to a spooky haunted place called Preston Castle. And the spookiest thing about Preston Castle to me is, like, I don't know who counted them, but they said there was like 45,000 bats in this defunct big building. So I'm not looking for like ghosts. I'm looking for to fly into my hair. It's like, it was crazy.
Nathan said hello. Nathan Hardster.
Hi, Nathan. How you doing? And yay, Melissa. No, he's okay. It's interesting that he showed me a road. If you say he died in an accident, I'm sure he hit something here and it pierced something into his. But he just
kept on moving. That's interesting. But I would rather meet, because you know who Meghan Trainor's husband is?
Yes, he's a Spy Kid.
Yeah, I had to watch all those movies with my kids over all the years, and I'm like, I'd rather meet that dude. Like, he seems very interesting.
We'll never live that down. Even we'll be somewhere, and it's like, and the Spy Kid husband, Daryl the High, and he went on the ghost hunt with us as well.
Nice.
They were great. It's all on YouTube. You can look under the Overnight channel. Meghan Trainor wants to see a ghost. It's pretty funny.
Now you bring up a good point when you talk about going to these locations. Have you ever run into a situation either being asked to go because you were on countless, countless TV shows that you've done all this stuff. When I was just kind of looking, let's see, there's Portal to Hell. Where's the one? What was
Ghost
the one?
Adventures is the one that I'm known for, because I just had my 10-year anniversary with Ghost Adventures, basically 2 episodes a year for 10 years, like 20 which is pretty good for a boy centric show. I always love it. It's always an adventure. I never know where I'm going. I never know where I am. I just like walk in, and I'm always scared to death with any of these. Like, what if I get crickets? What if I walk in and go, I got nothing?
Well, that was my question. Like, not even as far as like not seeing anything or experiencing anything, but in any of these, have any of these groups called you in like, hey, so we really want you to go to fill in the blank, whatever that happens to be, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not walking in there. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to experience that. Like, have you run into that, like that wall like that?
I love to get scared, and I haven't said no to anything yet because I like a challenge. That's my whole thing. So I think the scariest and darkest places I've been are actually, one of them is right in LA, the Cecil Hotel. And
Okay.
but I've been there like 3 times now. I did a 2-part special with Ghost Adventures. That's the place where they found the girl in the water tower. It's been floating there for 3 weeks as they were drinking the water. 2 serial killers there lived there, Richard Ramirez, another German. So more people thrown out of windows, babies thrown out of windows. Just when you get there, you just want to kill yourself. You just
I was
want
gonna
to.
say, can a building be evil then? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just got bad mojo.
Yes, this building is evil. Yes, it is. It's something bigger than the sum of all its parts. So
So
it
how
was,
does that happen then? Like,
I
how does a building get that?
I think that part of downtown LA has got something under it. It's probably Native American grass, but it really is. And there's water under it, and that's going to be a conduit. They built it to be a luxury, beautiful hotel, and it opened up as the Depression hit. So
Mm.
it's always been a place of failure, a place of depression. It's always been a flop house. So it's always had lots of drugs and alcohol. That in itself is going to bring in a darker element. It just is. Yeah, it just is. Not good, not bad. So I think it's something, it's an egregore, or something has been created that's, it affects living and it affects dead. Really, I almost jumped out a window in Ghost Adventures. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Zach, I showed up and and they're like, they'd been there for a while. And I have everything turned on. He goes, okay, Patty, there's 700 rooms. There's 14 floors. Everything's unlocked. You tell us where to go. And I'm like, and I went to the elevator and I'm like, oh, this is that elevator where the girl played that punching and she's all paranoid. It went viral. Um, and then I took him up to one room and I go, I got to get out. And I'm walking over the window. I'm opening the window and Zach's yelling at me. He's like, Patty, why are you over the window? Sit down. Patty, sit down. In my trance state, I'm in a trance state, which is like a dream state. I'm like, why is he yelling at me? Zach doesn't yell at me. Why is he yelling at me? I just got to get out of here, as I'm opening up a window on a high floor that doesn't even have a screen on it. And of the 700 rooms, I led him to the room somebody had jumped out of that window.
Oh shit!
Well, he didn't want me to jump out, I guess,
No, I'm glad he didn't want you to jump out. That's a nice thing of him. I mean, that's wild. So, I mean, if you know this of a place where it's got that type of a draw for someone like yourself, and it can grip you. I mean, how does somebody, who isn't, trained, hasn't done this their whole life, how do they even walk into a place like that? How does a
That
building like that even get to stay up?
that place is a disaster. And right now, again, concept good, everything bad. That's downtown by Skid Row, where there's thousands homeless people. They started making a Chapter 8 housing for homeless and low income people. But last I checked, people didn't even want to move in. They'd rather live in a cardboard box on the street than in this place. So it's not working. But now, and if it makes a relatively sane, well-balanced person want to die or kill themselves, what is it
Right, right.
doing to these homeless people moving in, who at very least probably have some sort of PTSD from being on the street, good chance of having a drug or alcohol problem? ambulances pulling up constantly. It's
Wow.
I want to gather every holy person, priest, rabbi, shaman, witch,
Get them all.
hold hands and do a big kumbaya around the whole building. It's what it needs.
It needs something.
It needs
Hey,
a
if you need something, make sure you go ahead and drop us a message here. If you got questions for Patti, we're talking about some of her experiences. We're going to get into her books here in a minute. So now listen, Patti, the dolls freak me out.
huh?
They always have. And because I come from that poltergeist era where the poor kid looks underneath the bed and the clown snatches him up and, all that kind of stuff. So I come from that era. And what sucks about that era for me is the fact that not long after that movie came out, loved my grandmother. She bought me a clown doll. And I'm like, really? Really? We're going to do this. So, yeah, that's no bueno. So, but tell us, like, you've got all the dolls behind you. And I think most people, when they think about dolls, they think about, what's the movie? The real famous one, the real famous
Annabelle. And they think of the
Annabelle.
Conjuring series, Annabelle. Yes, I've been
Annabelle.
with her for months now. My friends just got her. They got the whole Matt Rife, the comedian, Elton Castee is one of the YouTubers I work with, the main YouTube. They own that. They have that whole estate now. But I've been to her. Yeah, but that's why I wrote my book DollCraft, because I mean dolls have been in magic forever, forever, forever. They've been in ritual, they've been haunted, they've been good, they've been bad, they've been every culture, Japanese and the kids, whatever you call it, dolls, the Celtic, every culture. And they have never been more popular, probably because of Conjuring movies, Robert the Doll, Annabelle, Peggy the Doll in Zach's museum. So everybody wants a haunted doll, and a negative, low vibe. Well, I'll use the word low vibration haunted doll is not good in your household. It will drain your energy at very least. Can make you sick. It can make you argue. It'll make your kids and your animals sick because it goes for the weakest. So if you want to have a haunted doll, which I highly recommend, I certainly do, you want a high vibration haunted doll. That could be, they're just as spooky. They move things around the house. You hear the pitter patter of little feet when they're the only one upstairs. You get all the spooky stuff, but they're not going to drain your energy, make you sick. That's why this really is half of the book is a how-to on the acquisition, so you don't get ripped off, on it, acquisition, care, and feeding of a haunted doll. And then half of it is magical puppets. What I did with this book is, I'm a doll collector, always have been. Before I was born in my mother's womb, I probably had a doll collection. I have hundreds of Barbies. If I turned around, we'd have hundreds of eyes staring at us right now.
I have the 12-inch GI Joe, so I get it.
We love GI. Oh, Barbie loved GI Joe. She had a GI Joe boyfriend. She liked him better than Ken most of the time. Yeah. But anyway, but this book. So, and weirdly, none of my Barbies have ever been haunted. I think because they're just such a goddess in this style. But I do a lot of magic with dolls. They're called poppets. The one thing, and I live in these two worlds, the paranormal world, like the ghosty hunting world, and then in my witchcraft, magic, empowerment world, the positive magic. So this book was able to bring it together. Half of it is how to make a lovely little cloth doll for money, for health for your grandma, for this, for that, for protection, for you, for your cat. Well, I know what you're getting for.
That's my friend D. Listen, D, you ain't getting me no doll for.
Get him a clown. I don't
You'll
like clowns
find that
either.
sucker right up underneath, up the back seat of your car, like just hanging out. Crazy. Not me. I don't listen, Pat. I don't do like the doll thing. To me, that's one of those ones like I come from the mindset of, if it's haunted, I don't care if it's in short of you have found the Grail cup, like the real Grail cup. I don't want it in my house. Like, why would anyone want to bring that type of energy that isn't natural living energy into their home? I don't understand that.
But they do, because it's like a pet, but not like a pet. It's another spirit, a living spirit. But then that's why I want to say it. You have to use protection techniques. You have to have positive. Willow is doing great. Thank you, Nathan. That's my little doxy. She just came in from a play date. She's very happy.
Is that who I heard?
Yeah, that's
Was
who
she
you
being
heard.
tortured by? I wasn't sure if a doll was chasing her or something like that.
No, and your animals can tell if you have a high vibration or low vibration haunted doll or whatever. They want to hang with the good ones. They don't want to hang with the bad ones. So, but you don't want to have a negative. I had something in here. It was a doll too. It's like a statue doll. One of my clients, one of my friends, actually a rock star, had given it to me, and I liked it, and there was nothing really in it. But all of a sudden, I noticed I was not hanging out in my office. This is my office. I love my little office. And I would take my laptop upstairs or take the phone. It's like, why do I not like my office with all my dolls and all? And I looked, I go, oh, it's you. You've taken on this dark energy. I don't want you. So, me being me, I called Zach Bagans and I go, Zach, I have something that's too dark for my house. Do you want it for your haunted museum? Perfect place for it. And he goes, well, what is it? Show me a picture. I texted him a picture. He goes, ooh, that's a nail fetish hate doll. Yeah, I want that. It's like,
A
yeah,
what? Hold on.
nail fetish hate doll.
All right, so now I got to go look up what the heck
Nail fetish
it's called.
hate doll.
Nail
Nail
fetish.
head. A
Hate.
fetish is a created spirit. Like I puppets are like fetishes. The dragons that I work with are fetish. Fetish is a good word. It doesn't mean like tickle your foot fetish. It means a living entity out of an inanimate object.
All
Is
right,
he
I'm
looking
not finding it. I just don't. Okay, so I found haunted dolls, but
look up
doll on
nail fetish hate doll? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it will. But anyway, it was ugly. So
Anyway.
I took it to Vegas and it started acting up that night. But it's in the perfect place for it, a place that's well curated. It really is a well curated museum. It's dark and crazy there. There's no raising a family there, dogs and kitties. It's in the perfect place and to act up in its haunted museum and not in my house.
And not hanging out with you. I mean, now how obviously because we know this is your world. You're attuned to these kind of things, and you can pick up on it. But what is it about something like that where you're like, you can just look at it and be like, oh, you're the thing. You're the odd man out.
We all have this beautiful intuition that has sadly gotten so taught out of us. What do you call it? Your gut feeling intuition.
Absolutely.
In our modern Western logical, complete left brain logic focused world, we've taken all the magic left brain out. Everything, oh, that's your imaginary friend. I teach people because I teach how anybody can do this. That's what my school, University Magic, is. Magic U is the world's most affordable. It's like $20 a class or less. Come sit with me, learn mediumship, learn psychic development, learn spell casting, learn how to make a puppet, all positive magic. And now I have like 20 teachers all over the world, a guy in Italy teaching Italian magic, a guy in Brazil teaching Brazilian magic, people teaching Reiki and tarot and hypnosis. It's a real life Hogwarts.
Well, all Italian magic just starts with this. A little bit of
Yes,
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, strega. Yeah. So yeah, but that's what this book is about. I put a lot into it. It's good, but it brought my worlds together, my magical, witchy spell world and my haunted world.
I find it absolutely fascinating. And look, folks, if you're looking to find out more about what Patti's got going on, obviously you can go to Patti, and it's Patti Negri with an I at the end of it.com, and then Paraflix 2x's.com, and magic with a K and a U.org, because I'm not going to try to spell it because for whatever reason I couldn't spell anything there. So, and then look, folks, if you're watching us live right now, those of you that are out there, if you have questions, you're curious of what Patti might have for you, or maybe you had an experience and you want to know more about it, she can help you with those things. But now Paraflix, we've talked about Paraflix. We've had some other people on. Candy Howard was involved with Paraflix, some different folks from over in that world. What's going on with Paraflix? They had some changes over there in the last year or so, didn't they? Like there's something like the way it's being presented, or new websites or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking something else. Maybe I'm thinking something.
It is a beautiful app. It is Natalie and I started it about 5 years ago. I think I started the school 5 years ago. I started Paraflix 5 years ago. I started my podcast, Witching Hour. I decided I never wanted to sleep again, I guess.
So overrated.
I guess just sleep is over. I always say I'll sleep when I'm dead, and like, no, I won't. I'm just going to be out there with everybody. Hey, hi.
You still have other stuff to do at that point. You're like, I can be dead later. I got
But
things to do. I need to finish this.
But we started Paraflix because, again, I do paranormal television. I live in
Right.
Hollywood. But all of a sudden, we're watching Travel Channel and Discovery and Sci-Fi. I've seen everything on there 10 times. I've seen every episode 10 times. There was nothing new. I knew there was amazing content creators out there, amazing content. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to have a professional. It looks just like Netflix. It looks just like Amazon. You turn to it, you know, it is just as professional as everything out there. And we're giving, whether they're podcasters, paranormal, horror films, music videos, anything, all cryptids, aliens, spirituality, trying to get more and more spirituality in there, and giving people an opportunity. And we're way cheaper. Netflix and all that have gotten so expensive. We're
It
$4.99
really,
a month or $29 a month, so a year or something. $4.99, and so much content. And I'm in a lot of shows there. Natalie's in a lot of shows. And, when they always talk about we're the independents, like with music, we don't have to listen to what, Travel Channel says or Discovery says. I still love working with all those things. But there's a big flip going on. Network right now doesn't really know what to do with paranormal. There's not very many shows left in network on paranormal. That's why it's good we have our streaming thing. Ghost Adventures will go on because it's a moneymaker. It's going to go on, I think, as long as Zach wants it to. It is in season 300 now. No, I think season 29.
has it really been that many seasons of that?
Like 29. I think we're in 29, maybe
Wow.
30.
He
Yeah,
ran
it
he
was
ran
30. The math is a new math because a season could be 5 episodes this year. This one is going to be 13 episodes. You can't go by years or seasons. There's no mathematical
Well, it's
logic.
not like the old days where it was like a
13
season was
episodes.
11 to 13 episodes, and that was your season.
This is not look at TV now. All the streaming networks, but they don't know what to do with paranormal. So it's good we have the Paraflix because people really still do want it. The paranormal is not going anywhere because it's happening everywhere. There's more haunted houses here now than ever. I'm doing more house clearings. I'm traveling the world. I've gone as far as Australia to have to clear out, high-rise office buildings, homes with weird energy that got stuck in it.
I'm looking over here at the listing of everything. Haunted files. Somebody in her sassiest pose that she could ever find in Ghost Finders. Somebody got a sassy pose on the front of that one. I couldn't imagine who that could be. But I like this one. I'd be interested in this one. Ghosts and Grub. That's me.
Ghost and Grub. Have dinner with a ghost. I like a challenge and I like to get scared. So nothing to do with I don't know how to cook. And I want to prove I'm a really good witch. So I'm on MasterChef season 3.
I saw that you were on MasterChef.
Gordon Ramsay is afraid of ghosts. Just saying.
He's an interesting guy. Like you see him sometimes, and I get the whole kitchen persona with him because I've worked. I mean, most of us worked in a kitchen at some point in time. I think at least a lot of us did. I did. I worked in a catering hall and I worked in a Little Caesars. So I get the mindset of like, this has got to go out. Like there's no remaking this. There's no adding something to it. But then you watch some of his other shows. He's done one that's similar to the travel kind of stuff where he goes, and he seems like such a down to earth, realistic, reasonable human being where you're like, I can hang out with this guy. He's all right.
He is. When you do those kind of competition shows, I've done MasterChef, I've done Wipeout, and I've done America's Got Talent because I'm a sucker for pain. I'd like a challenge. But when you do those shows, you are it's under federal law because I think when there's money involved, game shows cheated in the 50s or something. I think there's a whole movie.
Yeah, there's a movie about it.
Federal stuff. So you show up, okay, I'm going to be on whatever, MasterChef. They take away your cell phone. They take away your laptop. They take away your tablet. You don't got to talk. You don't get to talk to your family, your pets, your husband. children, your spouses, those people that end up a long time on those shows, you don't get to talk to. You don't even have, like MasterChef, you don't even have your own room key. Because they're afraid that you will go out and either talk to somebody or cheat or talk to TMZ. If you want to leave your room, you have to call a PA, production assistant, to take you, for the poor smokers who want to go outside and smoke, or I wanted to go to the gym or something. It's like, okay, I have to leave my room. You have to have somebody
Wow.
wipe out the same way. AGT is the same.
I watched a thing about Wipeout not long ago, and they were actually talking about, like, people get jacked up on that show. Like, you don't realize, like, you see somebody getting bumped into the water or whatnot, you're like, haha. No, like, shoulders getting torn out, ACLs blown out, like, people getting really jacked up on that show.
Yeah, it was, again, I'm a really good wit. I did it because I wanted to prove that we could do anything we believe we could do. I had all these health issues when I was young. So I was told by a doctor, if I made it to 50, which I probably wouldn't, but if I made it to 50, I'd be in a wheelchair. And I said, screw that. And I stopped getting sick at 30. I literally stopped getting sick at 30. So at 50, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair as promised, I said, screw this. I'm going to do what then was the world's hardest obstacle course. I beat 100,000 people to get on that show. You have to go through physicals and emotional testing and mental testing. And then, and again, months and months of this stuff. And then you get there and it's like, what was I thinking? And it was way out in the desert where they can't hear you scream. And it was freezing cold rain. I don't even like cold. And I'm looking at these 50-foot falls into water of flaming, going, it took every bit of gumption to not get in my car and drive away.
Yeah,
But
I don't blame you.
But I'm like, nope, no. And I love that. I love turning fear into the best motivator you have. Fear can freeze you in your tracks, make you not live the life you want to live, not make that phone call, live small. Or fear is $1 million manifest that motivator that you can do. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So we're sequestered and it's raining, and they took one person at a time to go do this course. The first girl came back with a big fat lip, and I had a show the next day or whatever. It's like, oh God, I can't come back with a big fat lip. The second girl came back with welts across her leg. I'm like, oh, good heavens. I came back fine. I did not have the score. I did not swim fast enough, run fast enough to get into the finals. And I did not want to get into the finals, because the finals is where they shot you out of a cannon into the burning river. I didn't want to have to go that far. I just wanted to prove I could do it. I didn't want to be shot out of a cannon. So thankfully I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, that just seems like something that would absolutely suck. Like, I get it. Like, there was probably a time in my life where I'd have been like, this is great. We'll give this a shot. But there's also, like,
so painful. Those big things that swing, it's like a quarter inch of foam under plastic on metal. That's it. They punch, they hit.
Yeah, no bueno. No, thank you. I'm no good there. So,
yeah.
So going back here, and I'm looking at all my notes, because listen, folks, if you don't know who Patti is, you really have been under a rock. I have no other way I can put it other than you've been under a rock, because I go through her notes she's been on the show before. I see her online all the time. Heck, the last time we talked, you were headed. It wasn't this when we were texting before. You were like going to some kind of vampire ball.
Yeah,
With like the King of the Vampires or something like that, or what's he known as?
Yes, Father Sebastian, King of Vampire.
That's it.
I as well as being a good witch, I'm a good vampire. I have fangs in my purse if you need them. Custom.
I'm okay.
I don't drink blood. What I drink is like just the joy of the concert, the roar of the crowd. It's very hedonistic, but again, not negative. I don't need to do negative. But yes, I just got back from a week in New Orleans. We take over House of Blues for about 5 days, 6 days. The first night's small, the next night's big. I do a seances. The last night's like 1,200 people. People dressed to the nines, top hat, this gourd. Vampires know how to dress. And we do magic. Again, positive magic. What I always say, the difference in my witch world, my good witch world, is in my witch world, my cape is made out of either organic cotton or Stevie Nicks black lace. In my vampire world, my cape is black velvet with a red silk lining. Other than that, almost the same. Elemental magic, ceremonial, beautiful, life embracing magic is what they both are. We met, Sebastian and I met on Ghost Adventures like 8 years ago, maybe. He was on the show. I was on the show. We were at Zach's museum. He was passed out on the floor, having been knocked out by Bela Lugosi's mirror. He's this big guy, long hair, and he was flat on the floor.
Hold on. Stop. You don't get to just wave top knocked out by Bela Lugosi's mirror. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, again, Zach Bagans, you guys like this thing, go to Zach Bagans Museum in Vegas. It's always voted the best of everything. Yeah, he's got this haunted mirror, and they'll open it for people, and he got overtaken by something that looked like fish within it, an energy thing, and he just boom, flat on the ground, boom, straight back. So yeah, but it could happen. My craziest thing at that museum, Zach likes to do the good witch, bad witch thing. He likes, and I'm the good witch. And another lady that he worked with, Lady Snake, he'd fly her in from the UK. This was that same episode. I was like locked in a gypsy cabin or something, and going, somebody's on the floor over here. There's a woman and a doll over here, just telling what I was seeing. And then Zach runs up to me, goes, Patti, there's this woman I want you to meet. Okay, it's dark and we're running eyes in the dark. And he brings me into this room with a great big cauldron. And he goes, and he introduced me. This woman is this little English woman, little middle-aged English woman who looked like she would want to serve me tea, not kill me, but she had Ed Gein's shovel in her hand, was doing black magic around Ed Gein's cauldron, of which we were in that room. And she wanted to kill me. So we had a good witch, bad witch. It was wild.
She had Ed Gein. I didn't know Ed Gein had a cauldron.
Yes, he cooked and cooked people in.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't know who Ed Gein is, folks, he is, if you've ever seen any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, he is the premise for those movies. I don't know if he would be considered, well, did he wear his mother's skin? Did he?
I think he made something out of it, because I think Zach has some of that in there.
Because Zach would actually, you'll remind me, because I know you don't have a lot of time after the show, but I've talked about this on the show before, and I believe he's talked about it with other people, so I don't think I'm dropping any massive secrets here. We had a gentleman on really back when you first came on all those years ago, and his name is Reverend Dr. David Adamovich, the Great Throwdini. He's a world record knife thrower. He's
Wow.
I'm assuming he's still alive. He's got to be in his mid to late 70s at this point. But we did the whole show and we got done, and he goes, Sean, I forgot to tell you something. See you, D. He goes, Sean, I forgot to tell you something. Oh, what's up, Doc? He goes, I own the world's largest collection of serial killer memorabilia. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. And he proceeded to explain to me it belonged to a friend of his that he ended up not wanting to see the collection get broke up from his friend and bought it. But one of the things where you talk about things like Ed Gein having that stuff, he had one of the mattresses. He sold it from the what's that? It was like a cult that thought the comet was their space.
Yeah, they had matching tennis shoes or something.
Yep, the black and white Nikes. They all wore black and white Nikes, and they committed suicide on these mattresses, and he had one of those mattresses.
Wow.
And I was like, so listen, I'll have to, if I think about it, see, that's the kind of thing that people, I've never gotten into that stuff. I listened for a short period of time to a podcast called, and we're going to talk about your podcast because you have an award-winning weekly podcast.
I just got one this past week from Film Fest LA too. Best Supernatural podcast.
Well, before we get too far, we always got to talk about one of our other sponsors. And this week's episode is brought to you by New Scotland Spirits. And with Veterans Day just happening, it's the perfect time to raise a glass to those who have served. To every veteran listening, thank you. Your sacrifice, your courage, and your commitment deserves more than just words. They deserve recognition, respect, maybe a damn good pour. New Scotland Spirits is handcrafted whiskey made it right here in the upstate New York area. It's bold, it's local, it's made with purpose, just like the service of our nation's veterans. So, for veteran, when you see your next veteran, make sure you raise a toast to those brave folks and make it count. Visit newscotlandspirits.com and find your bottle today. New Scotland Spirits, distilled with pride, poured with honor. And for those of you who don't realize, Monday was the Marine Corps' birthday, which to me is way better than, like, Veterans Day is cool, but the Marine Corps birthday is way better because we're Marines and that's just who we are. So let's get on back here to it. So, but yeah, so you've been doing, how long have you been doing your podcast?
I think 5 or 6 years. I started everything about 5 or 6 years ago. I've got, I don't know how many, I have not missed a week yet since I started it. I'm really bad with dates. It's a long time. I think 5.
Listen, I get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't become addicting though. Once you, like, podcasting is weird. I try to explain this to people all the time. Like, once you're in a solid routine with it, you just, like we were talking before, like Patti showed up on time. She was actually early. She was like, she was ready. Her mic was set to go. Her lighting was good. I didn't have to worry about anything. Like, we had 2 or 3 extra minutes and I'm like,
hang it.
we're just going to hang out here for a minute because we had the time. Now, when you do your show though, what are, like, because it's, and for those who don't know, it's called the Witching Hour.
Mhm.
What are some of the things, like, is it that somebody could expect on your show?
I wanted to be fun and entertaining and inspirational. I go between my 2 worlds. I will have a part paranormal people on, like I just had Jay Wasley from Ghost Adventures, just beautiful episode because he's magical and spiritual. Amy Bruni, Katrina Weidman, all the TV people and the Paraflix people, the paranormal world people are a lot of my YouTubers. And then half of it is from the magical and spiritual world. Don't have to be witches. They could be whatever. So I want people to actually learn something and come away with something empowering. That's it. And be entertained. That's it. It's just a little talk show where I want to learn something because I get to learn something every day.
Isn't that the best part of this?
Yeah.
Like people teach you stuff and they don't even realize, like, I get an hour to learn.
Well, that's good. Yes.
I get a master class on stuff all the time that I'm like, I didn't have to pay for that. I just get to
every day. Yeah.
And so, you know, folks, this isn't going to be a full hour because Patty's got some stuff she's got to do. We'll cut it a little bit short today, but thinking about a couple of things here, is there anything in that world of paranormal, cryptic, ghosts, aliens, any of that kind of stuff where you draw the line, where you're like, is there anything where you draw the line at it?
Well, I'm open to anything, believing anything. I will never, ever, ever, ever fake or do anything. I draw the line there. If anybody, and nobody has ever asked me on shows I've done, it's like, pretend it's this. No, can't. My reputation, my everything, this is my profession, relies on. And luckily, never have. People don't understand, though. We do have editing. I remember the first time, a sign of success is people ridicule you. I remember somebody saying, from Ghost Adventures, Patti must be fake because whenever she's talking, why is she like looking directly into the camera and all these good angles? It's like, because we shot for 4 days to get that 44 minutes and they just put out the ugly butt shots. What?
Yeah, because it's TV. If you've never heard of it, that's really kind of their thing. They're
4
really
days,
into that stuff.
44 minutes. Yeah.
I mean,
and so there's a lot of,
I mean, like Mothman, Jersey Devil, we have up at not Lake George, but Lake Champlain, they have Chessie. Like some of these things, like, are there any of those where you're just like,
yeah, I'm sure, but it's okay if they do or don't exist. I do think that there's a world of other world beings, whether it's Mothman or cryptid or this or that, or it's the fairy realm that I see and tree spirits that I see,
Oh, you just reminded me.
You don't have to see them. You're not going to necessarily find the bones from them because they're in another realm, just kind of like ghosts. There's our world with three-dimensional, gravity-ridden, solid, nothing solid, 7th grade science. And then the other world where all that other stuff exists. I like that other world.
You reminded me. Gosh, I'll have to go back and find one of my prior guests. He had a story that, like, you would love it. You would absolutely eat it up. It's so a Patty story where he he interviewed this guy, and the guy like didn't even want to give him the interview because when he told other people what had happened, they made fun of him. He was out in Montana, and long story short, the guy was out there camping in this area. He was like one of those very solitude camping situations. Just me, my pack. I'm going to go out, whatnot. He said something woke him up in the middle of the night, and he woke up and he looked, and the way I don't remember exactly how he described it, but basically like a little green man, like not an elf, but a gnome, like a gnome looking. And he's like, he woke up to see it reading his book that he had, and it was reading through like a book the guy had, and I don't remember if he said the guy like took off or what had happened. The guy gave him the story. He put it in his book. He has a book of collections of these paranormal stories and cryptic stories and things of that nature. Put it in his book. A woman calls him and is going, my God. Like she's really like upset. He's like, what's going on? She said, my husband told me this same exact story happened to him 20 years prior to your story in the same area, the same thing. And waking up and like, it wasn't a book, but he like saw this little gnomish looking person. Like, how do we not see things like this more often?
Because we're so close to it. I mean, we know that like dogs and cats can see and hear things that we can't and all that. We're so closed off the creative, off the logic. And sometimes they don't want us to. But I think more and more, I do believe the veil between these two worlds is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Literally, as we're moving into that age of Aquarius they sang about in the 60s. But I do think elementals are getting stronger because we need to pay attention to the earth. Even people like a fellow medium, Chris Fleming. He's a TV medium, beautiful man. But he's magical and medium, but not the weird witchy fairy world that I'm in. I remember I was on his show where he's like, Patty, I saw a gnome and they're real. It's like, yeah, they're real. Because maybe we need to, yes, we could look for our aliens and stuff, but we need to take care of this planet. So they're making themselves known. So many people are seeing fairies and fae world. They've always been here, but I think they just need a spotlight.
Well, you got to ask the Irish. We've been seeing them all forever.
Yes,
They're all part of Irish folklore.
To tell you, I was in Ireland 2 years ago. This is my best fairy story, and I'll give it to you. I was doing this whole magical, mystical Game of Thrones type tour. We went to a organic fairy farm. This guy, like right out of a movie, Irish fire. He had the sheep, he had the horses, he had the sheep dogs, he had the cow, and fairy mounds, and they respect it in Ireland. If they're doing a freeway, if they get to a fairy fort, they will go around it. They will not cross or tear up. They are respectful. Fairies are scarier in Ireland than they are here in their belief system. But we were at his beautiful farm walking through the thing. We were under this fairy tree, which was beautiful. It had things sparkly hanging on it. I walked out of the tree and I was just wanted to be in gratitude for a minute. I looked up. On the right of me was this beautiful horse. On the left of me was this beautiful cow. Right in front of me was like 15 people under the fairy tree. Horse, right? Cow, left, people. I am the luckiest girl in the world to get to experience this right now in these green fields, greenest I've ever been. I closed my eyes, Sean. I opened my eyes. The people were gone. The tree was gone. The horse was on my left and the cow was on my right. They hadn't moved. The fairy literally had picked me up and turned me 180 degrees and set me down without me knowing it.
I thought they were like little tiny things.
No, I think they could shapeshift. And in olden days, people pictured fairies big.
Oh, there's a movie about that.
Yeah.
You know that, right? What is that movie where like the girl goes off the road into the woods? And I know you got to get ready to go, but the girl goes off the roads into the woods and she runs to this house. And every night they have to stand in front of the window.
Oh, yes. That's a spooky movie.
That movie's scary, but it was about fairies.
Yeah.
That was about, listen, folks, Patty's got to go.
I do.
She's got her show and you're getting ready to do yours, which is what?
This is which is Movie Coven, not my regular show. This is my Wednesday live. If anybody's watching this live right now, go over to YouTube, the Witches Movie Coven. We're going to talk about the movie Nosferatu from 2024, the last one, not Nosferatu. Nice. And we talk about movies. That's it. But thank you, Sean. You are such a great host.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you back. Hopefully it'll be sooner than another 5 years, but you got to give me one last thing here, Patty. The guest always gets the final word. So what's our final word for tonight?
Have fun and crank it up to 11. That's it.
Alrighty, folks.
Crank it up to 11.
I'll see you, Patty. Alrighty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.